small vehicle, but on the battlefield a very important vehicle. No army these days will ever go forward and advance across a battlefield without having done some sort of scouting or reconnaissance, as it's called, first of all. And to do that, even in this day and age, with satellites up in the sky, with aeroplanes or unmanned drones, the armoured commander, he always likes the idea he's got some good first-hand information. And that might include someone who's literally on the end of a radio explaining what he can see back to the force commander. Then he knows for certain before he commits his force to attack. Now if we look down the other end of the field here, coming across that bridge, this rather stubby little vehicle, this is what they call a scouting or reconnaissance vehicle. This particular one's called the Lynx, and it was made by the Canadian Army from bits from American vehicles, but it was actually sold to a number of countries around the world. And it's a good example of a track reconnaissance vehicle. Why is it good? It's small, and if you're small on the battlefield, you're much harder to hit. So not only are you harder to see by the enemy, it's a smaller target to aim at. The other thing about the Lynx, it's actually relatively fast for a tracked vehicle. This can whip along about 30, 40 miles an hour. And if you're fast, again, you're another one of those vehicles harder for the enemy to actually train their guns on to fire at you. Now you can see on this vehicle, the driver's down the front, he's got his head out the hatch at the moment. The commander sits with it where that big round hatch is open. Sometimes they'd be fitted with a machine gun. This one hasn't been fitted with a machine gun today. The machine gun, by the way, is not really there for taking on the enemy. It's really there for a bit of moral support. If you bump into the enemy, quick burst of machine gun fire to keep their heads down, and you get out of trouble. You are not there to take on the enemy to fight them. You're there to actually find out about the enemy, to report back. Now because the Lynx, they realised when they were building this vehicle that sometimes the enemy would have blown up the bridges so you couldn't see what was on the other side of a river, they made this vehicle amphibious. And this vehicle, just by putting a little wave vane, a little board forward just in front of the driver, this vehicle could cross a river or a lake just by the tracks turning round, scooping up enough water to keep it propelled across water. Couldn't go to sea, it would sink if a wave came over the top, but it could cross a nice flat river. And that's really useful because, again, if you're reconnaissance, you want to know what's the other side if they've blown up the bridge, what's going on over there to report back to the main force. Now the driver sits, you can see he's got his head out at the moment. And as with most armoured vehicles, the driver or commander will keep their heads out the turrets or the hatches as long as possible. As soon as they come under fire, they close those hatches down and look out a glass periscope. Now you can look through some of the periscopes inside the museum. The problem of them is it stops bullets coming in and injuring the crew or doing damage to the vehicle. The downside, of course, it's like looking through a glass fish tank. You don't see the outside world in quite the same way as if you've got your head out the hatch. So the crew will often keep their heads out for the last possible moment, so they've got the phrase they use, spatial awareness. They know what's going on around them to the last moment before they finally close down and look out to those glass periscopes. Now if a bullet or shrapnel hits the glass, it may shatter it, but nothing comes inside the vehicle. And they have little quick release levers, out drops the old periscope, in goes a new one, and on the vehicle can go, so they can still see where they're going. Now on the front of the vehicle, there's those little tubes, you might just be able to see them. You'll see them on a lot of vehicles inside the museum. They're what they call smoke dischargers. And sometimes they're on the turrets of vehicles, sometimes on the front wing. And inside those tubes, about the size of a Coke can, is a smoke grenade. And if the vehicle comes under attack, the commander or driver, they can press a button, out flies a pattern of smoke grenades in front of the vehicle, nice big smoke screen. You are hidden from the enemy, so you can reposition yourself or get out of trouble. Because again, as I keep repeating, the important thing about this vehicle, it's information gathering. That's what you're out to try and do. Find out about the enemy, radio that information back to the main force commander so they know what's going on, where they're attacking. So that's your reconnaissance vehicle.